If you're a B2B founder, then you know the struggle. Content is king in 2025, but who has the time to film, edit, and post every single day? What if I told you, though, that there was a way that you could create an entire month's worth of content, and not just any content, high quality content, in less than 3 hours a month? Would sound impossible, right? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you my 5-step content system framework that can help you achieve exactly that. But before I dive into the solution, let's get real about the challenge you're probably facing. It's what I call the content paradox that every B2B founder faces at some point. You know you need consistent content to establish yourself as an authority within your space, but between running your company, managing teams, and actually serving clients, who has the time to become a full-time content creator? And most founders that I talk to, they know they need to be posting content, but they're posting content either sporadically. They're posting maybe a LinkedIn post here, or newsletter there, but we all know that inconsistency kills results. Your audience forgets to exist, algorithms stop showing your content, and all the effort goes to waste. And that's exactly why I developed a different approach for busy founders like yourself. Imagine if you could create an entire month's worth of professional, high-converting content in less than 3 hours, and you could distribute it across all major platforms automatically. And what if you never had to worry about coming up with ideas again? It's a proven system that's helped B2B founders like you reclaim their time while still building an authority and growing their business through content. There's no fancy equipment required, a very small content team, and no daily grind. So let's talk about it. You're probably asking yourself, how does this work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me introduce to you what I call the 5-step content system that makes this possible. Step 1, create 15 high-impact questions that your ideal clients are already asking. Step 2, film a 90-minute interview session. Step 3, outsource strategic editing to transform one recording session into dozens of pieces of content. Step 4, use AI for captions and copy so you never have to write from scratch. Step 5 is set up strategic distribution to maximize reach with just minimal effort. This isn't about working hard, it's about working smarter with a system that actually scales. Now let's go ahead and break down each of these steps so you can actually implement them right away. Now this is step 1, the foundation of your content system, and it's about creating your question bank. This eliminates the biggest time waster in content creation, constantly brainstorming new topics. So what we're going to do is focus on 3 specific sources of questions. Number 1, review past client conversations, emails, and sales calls. These are going to be a goldmine for your ideal client profile's most common questions. Number 2, analyze where your competitors' content is falling short. See gaps within their content. See what you can talk about that they're not talking about. Number 3 is focus on pain points and aspirational outcomes. And here's some examples of high converting questions. What's the biggest ROI killer in your industry? How do you know if you're ready to scale? And what metrics actually matter for achieving specific outcomes? These aren't just random. They're specifically designed to position you as the expert while addressing what your audience actually wants to know. So now let's turn this concept into an action with a simple implementation plan. Now here's exactly how to build your question bank in just less than 30 minutes. First, set a timer for 30 minutes because this is going to prevent perfectionism, right? Remember, it's not supposed to be perfect right away. Then let's go pull questions from 3 key sources. Look through your last 10 customer conversations. Number 2 is check your competitors' content for obvious gaps. And number 3, consider recent industry trends that most people are probably confused about. And the goal of this is to generate about 20 to 25 questions and then to refine them down to 15 most powerful ones. Focus on questions that actually showcase your unique methodology or your perspective, and focus on questions that you can actually answer and that you know things about. Now with your question bank ready, you can now move on to the game-changing second step. So step number 2, now that you have your questions ready, you might be thinking that you need to film 15 separate videos, but there's a much smarter way to do this. And step 2 is what I call the 90-minute power session. Instead of recording 15 separate videos, you're going to do just one interview style sessions. Here's why this format is actually better than solo recordings. Natural conversations, they drive higher engagements. Viewers, they feel like they're eavesdropping on valuable insights. 2, you can avoid the kind of awkwardness of talking to a camera alone. It's what I'm doing right now. It's kind of awkward sometimes. And number 3 is one focused session means you can batch all your content creation in a single block of time. This approach transforms what could take days into just 90 minutes of focused effort. But for this to work effectively, you need the right setup. So let me walk you through the practical details to make your recording session as smooth as possible. And I've created what's called the interview checklist to make this as simple as possible. For equipment, you don't need anything fancy. Just a smartphone on a basic tripod, positioned near a window for natural lighting. No professional mics or lighting is required. However, it's obviously recommended. It's going to make your content better the higher quality setup you have. So if you can invest into your setup, then you should. But if you don't have the funds to invest, then you can just start with what you have. And for your interviewer, use a team member, a virtual assistant, or even a friend. Their only job is to read the questions and occasionally ask follow-up questions. The most important part of this is your actual answer structure. Always start with a powerful hook, then deliver your answer and close with a concrete example. For example, instead of beginning with customer acquisition is important, start with we just 3x the client's pipeline in 60 days with this just one customer acquisition strategy. See the difference? One sounds like a textbook and the other one makes the viewer lean in. And this is the most important part of the content, especially if you're doing short form content, which we are in this session. Now, once you've completed your 90-minute session, it's time to transform that raw footage into content gold. And that's going to bring us to step number 3. At this point, you've done the hard part, sharing your expertise on camera. Now let's talk about turning this footage into an actual content machine. And step 3 is where most founders get stuck. Editing. But here's a secret. You shouldn't be doing this yourself. Now, with this smart edit approach, you'll outsource to specialized editors who can transform one recording into 15 videos that you can post on both LinkedIn and YouTube. And the reason we're going to use short form video clips for this is because it's what the algorithms are preferring in today's content age. And this multiplication effort is how you're going to turn one recording session into an entire month's worth of content with nearly zero additional effort from you. But you're probably asking yourself, how do I find and even brief these editors? Well, let me show you exactly what to do to find the right editors. The key to outsourcing is becoming crystal clear about what you want, and let me share with you my proven process. Here's the exact editor brief template I use with every client. Go to platforms like Upwork or Fiverr and search for editors who specialize in B2B content. Expect to invest a total about $200 to $300 total, which breaks down to around $13 to $20 per piece of content. Try beating that ROI with ads, which breaks down to about $13 to $20 per piece of content. Your deliverables should include clean audio with subtle background music. That's if you prefer. You can also do no background music. On-brand captions, which is crucial since 71% of people watch business content with the sound off. And number 3 is multiple format exports optimized for each platform's requirements. This is super important. When your editors are exporting your content, you want to make sure it's for the specific platform so you can get the highest quality resolution. Lastly is make sure that you're setting a clear timeline of 3 to 5 business days for all deliverables, and make sure to provide 2 to 3 examples of content you like so they understand your style. Now that your content is edited and ready to go, let's solve the next challenge. And one bonus point here with the editors is have them actually edit one video before you hire them just to see exactly how good they are. And then from there itself, you can pick from the best video that you actually got. And being able to leverage these platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, you're going to be able to find a really good editor on a very, very affordable budget. Now, this is where our system really starts to save you massive amounts of time. Step 4 is using AI to power your distribution. The days of writing captions from scratch are actually over. And with tools like ChatGPT, Claude, you can automatically generate platform-specific captions that feel native to each channel. So the one thing that I will note about this section is you want to make sure that you're not just using ChatGPT to write everything for you. You want it to give you a base of around 75 to 80%. The goal of this is to create content that doesn't sound like it's written from ChatGPT, because I'm sure if you guys have looked at content before and you've seen different social media posts that sound like it's written from ChatGPT. So you want to make sure that you're prompting it the right way and using your natural tone that you're actually speaking with to make sure that you're creating the style of caption that you need. So let me give you my exact framework I used in generating high converting captions in just seconds. And here's an example ChatGPT prompt that you can use for every piece of content. Write a LinkedIn post based on this video transcript, paste your transcript here, include 3 key takeaways, and end with a question to drive engagement. Keep it under 1,300 characters and maintain my conversational tone. This is a simple prompt that yields ready to post captions that sound exactly like you. This is not going to be 100% of the way. It's probably going to take you 75 to 80%. You can modify this for different platforms. However, this is going to completely speed up your process of having to create captions yourself, and you're going to be able to do this at scale. And if you just have a team member managing this, for example, they can go in and put those fixes that are necessary to take the content to the next level. But this is going to get you 80% of the way there. Now that you have your content created, your captions written, it's time to put it all to work with what I call the strategic distribution plan. Step 5 is all about strategic distribution, because randomly posting content isn't really a strategy. And here's an optimal distribution calendar I've found works best for B2B founders. Now, YouTube, you can post that 90-minute content session that you had as a main piece of content, right? If it's obviously an interview style. And so this is going to be what you can do for Wednesday's post. On LinkedIn, you can share 3 short clips per week with your AI generated captions. And then email, if you have a newsletter, you can just send your best performing video to your newsletter that week. And then you can repurpose this from the highest performing videos into blog posts using AI transcription tools. And this approach is going to ensure that you're omnipresent without being overwhelming. But you're probably asking, what tools should I use to make this efficient as possible? So let's talk about the tools and timing that actually makes this work. For scheduling, I recommend using Buffer, but you can also use Content Cal or Hootsuite, or even the native scheduling LinkedIn works great too. But the tools matter less than the habit. Your time investment should be about 30 minutes weekly to schedule all your content across platform. That's it. The rest happens automatically. And remember this principle is consistency beats frequency every time. time. It's far better to post twice a week forever than daily for a month and then burn out. Okay, and that's it, right? Now that we've covered all 5 steps, let's see how this all adds up, right? When you put the 5 steps together, you get a remarkably efficient system. Let's put it all together and see how this adds up to just 3 hours for a month worth of content. Question bait creation, 30 minutes. Interview recording, 90 minutes. Edit brief and upload, 30 minutes. AI caption and generation, 30 minutes. Weekly scheduling, 30 minutes. And that's it. Just 3 hours total. Compare that to the traditional approach where you spend 3 hours per piece of content or 45 plus hours for the same output. This system is doing the heavy lifting for you. The hardest part about this system is just doing it the first time. Now, if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content to give me some encouragement to keep posting this stuff and that you guys are actually finding value from this itself. And if you did actually want me to put this system within your business and help you build this out so you don't have to go through the strenuous work of having to do this yourself, go ahead and just book a call with me in the description where I'll be able to show you exactly how we'd be able to build out this content system for you within your business. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and take it easy. Ciao, ciao.